Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to those of you online, and welcome to those of you here with me in the room. We'll get started with a centering and following the breath for about 12 minutes. So, first, get comfortable, feel into your body, notice where your body is meeting the ground or whatever support you have underneath you. And let the base of your body feel heavy. Let it go, let it drop. Give way to gravity and to the support that meets you underneath of you. And notice your upper body and let it feel light, buoyant. Bring to mind the essence of a balloon that's anchored by the string that's being held down, and at the same time there's a buoyancy, there's a lift, a lightness that extends up through the crown of your head and allows you to meet whatever is up here. Let your spine feel elongated, whether it is parallel or perpendicular to the ground. If you're lying down, you can still create this sense of distance, traction from base to the top of your neck, base of the skull, base of the spine, lots of room. The side body extended and open. And let your face and your eyes, your jaw feel relaxed. Visualize some space in the ears. Maybe feel your tongue and let the tip find the the palate just behind your front teeth. And then bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the next inhale. Stay close to it. Follow it all the way in. And then notice its partner exhale. Stay close to that. Follow it all the way out. One moment is giving rise to the next, and to the next, and to the next. What do you experience in those spaces in between these moments? One is giving rise to the next. The inhale is giving way to the exhale. The exhale gives rise to the inhale. Can you zoom in even further and really fully attend to the experience that is neither here nor there, but right in the middle, and realize that that too has been given rise to and will give rise to the next thing. So we're taking these experiences down and into their very detailed phases and parts. So a moment is made of a breath in and a breath out. And the breath in and out is made up of the in, the out, and the moments in between. And then what is the moment in between made of? Another beat, a pulse, a vibration. What do you feel? Pay attention to that level of detail to take you in to presence. You may be aware of distractions, ambient sound in your environment. Let all that be part of that rhythm, arriving, departing, breath in, breath out, moments in between, sounds, thoughts, feelings, all part and parcel of those waves of presence. You don't need to turn anything away. we can fold it in and ride its rhythm. And take a nice, deep, and full breath. And exhale everything back out so that you may arrive into a state of awareness to your present moment surroundings and reorient yourself. Welcome again. So, modern life has many advantages and interesting phenomena that that we grow accustomed to. One of them is passwords, usernames, the locks and the keys that allow us to have access to information and productivity and commerce, et cetera, et cetera. Medical records, all these things now. We get our little personal locks and keys. And there's that feeling when you're not sure what your username and password are, and you put them in, and bingo, first time. Yes, you're in. Isn't that the best feeling? Isn't that just this moment of like, I got in, I'm in, I connected. Let me know if there are any social science researchers out there, because I have a hypothesis that moment of getting in on the first try gives you a hit of dopamine that is commensurate with the same hits of dopamine that we now know we get from social media engagement. When somebody likes a post or comments on something positively. My theory is that it's as good as or even better than that moment of like, oh, thank God, yes, I belong to this moment, to this site, to this, I have access, right, with minimal effort. A little bit of momentary panic or stress, but then good, we're good, right? For a long time, I used the same username and password for everything. And then I was told by enough people enough times that I can't do that anymore. So the caveat about that hit of dopamine, right, is that we know that this has been shown, is that when somebody, when it's a positive engagement in social media, there's a certain level of feel-good hormonal connection that happens. But that level is even increased when it's a negative reaction. And that's what has driven us to take to plant our stakes in our silos and then fight about it, launching missiles across the way, because that too feeds our neurotransmitters in ways that we think is positive, but it really isn't. And so the point that I want to make is that we want to be careful what we're connecting to. We want to be mindful about what we're getting into when we create those access points and celebrate them. It doesn't mean that to look away from everything that's troubling us, or that's negative. It doesn't mean like good vibes only. That's what spiritual bypassing looks like. It just means to pay attention to the way we're feeding ourselves, to pay attention up to the things that we're seeking access to pay attention and be mindful about the way we're expending this energy and then receiving something back from it. Are these things that are uplifting us? Are these things that are driving progress for our mental, emotional, social states of mind and being? We don't have to sign in everywhere we go. We don't have to get access to everything. We can be careful curators of our mental, emotional states. So in a way of contemplative practice with this idea, we can cultivate some connection that we know is ideal, that we know is good and positive and uplifting. And I think that has to do with what's sinking on this cushion. I think that has to do with the practices of loving kindness and compassion that we can extend. And so that's what we'll work with right now in our next phase, the contemplative phase of practice tonight, or whenever you're watching. So once again, find a state of relative comfort in your body. Let the base be heavy and grounded, the upper body be light and free. The jaw be loose, and notice the breath coming in and going out. And imagine that you're logging in to a place where you have access to some compassion and loving kindness. Let's start with expressing that for ourselves. So you've arrived in this place, you've logged in, gained access to a part of your heart that's open. And imagine that from that place you are feeding your own state of mind, your own psychophysicality with support, with understanding, patience. And now from this open-hearted place of compassion and care and loving kindness, extend that out to the people who are your closest allies and confidants, the ones who are easy to be with, the ones who provide a source of joy and mutual compassion, loving kindness, and support. Grant them access to this same well of goodness. Now provide this username and password to this open-hearted place inside of you to acquaintances, casual people that you engage with on a daily basis or occasionally, work colleagues or neighbors or whoever it is that you engage with to run your life on a mundane level. The innocuous ones. And now let's let in the strangers. You might envision your community, the whole of whatever organizations that you're involved with or work with, where there may be people you don't know. Let them in. Offer compassion, friendliness, kindness. If at any time it starts to feel like too much, like the well has run dry for the moment, come back to the self. Come back way in. Change the password so it's only for you right now. Netflix is going to make us do that anyway. Come back in, just for the self, whenever you need to. Opening back out again if it feels safe, if it feels right. Provide access now to this place inside that's capable of this loving friendliness, to what I'm going to call the entanglers, the people who give rise to our afflicted states, the difficult ones. If alarms start to go off, come back to the self. We know that those difficult ones will still be there when we're ready to let them in again. Open up this space, if you will, if you can, to all fellow humans. Cast the net wide. Open up big on all sentient beings. In the entire universe. Could our hearts be that big? Could we have enough capacity to take it all in, to give full access, to be at ease in this entirety of connection? Just a couple more minutes here. Sitting in this openness, tapping back in whenever we need to tend the compassion for self, and patience and ease for our own hearts. And then deepen the breath. Reorient yourself back to this moment, this time, this place. So one important aspect of connecting, having access to one another, making these connections, is, I believe this is how we grow and evolve. It's how we become more of ourselves by finding echoes of what we care about in our environment and in other people. So we make that connection and we say yes to certain things. And then naturally we say no to others. So we prune away what doesn't feel correct, what doesn't serve us, what doesn't help us grow. That doesn't mean we shut it out or do it harm, but we can prune it away so that there's a more of a fullness of our own growth and evolution. I have a fig tree in my backyard that I planted a few years ago, and I have to cut her back hard every winter. Otherwise, she takes over everything. So the way to prune a shrub or a tree in a healthy way is you find the junctures of the two branches, and then you find the place where the one that's growing too leggy or too long or too far flung. And you find that the juncture with the other one that you want to keep, and you just do that little snip, right? And this is to promote the growth and the integrity of the plant. So rather than having it be out of balance, this is how you cultivate the healthiest growth. It helps the plant change in a way that is sustainable. There's a quote that I'll share from Virginia Woolf, and she wrote, "A self that goes on changing is a self that goes on living." And so I think that when we're living most fully, we're finding those moments of connection. We're pruning away the things that don't feel connected, that are too far flung. The ones, the places where we forgot our username and we realized it doesn't matter anyway. I didn't need that thing. Those junctures of space and time and presence. We get in there to feel most fully alive. And I think that's what we're seeking ultimately with each other and within ourselves, is to feel most alive, to feel most connected, to get in and have access to the places that have the most openness of hearts. So we'll finish with just some resting meditation where we follow the breath if it makes sense, or we just sit in this space of relative comfort and ease. We've opened up with this compassion and this loving friendliness for self and all others. And now let's just sit in that sauce a little bit. Just some quiet space. Meet the breath as it comes in. And soften for its release. Forgive the excursions of your mind. Welcome them back. Stay close to your experience of the next inhale and its exhale. Keep coming back in. Notice all the present moment distractions, internal and external. Prune away the ones you can, and integrate the ones you can't prune away. Feed them with breath. Let them mingle for a time. And then perhaps let the breath get a little stronger than they are. Just another couple of minutes. And welcome the next breath. Give it a little extra oomph. Bring it in, let it out. And if you'd like to release your chin toward your chest and gather up your palms in front of your heart, raising your heart toward your chin. Offering all sentient beings the opportunity to feel deeply connected, to be let in where they seek to be let in with compassion and kindness and welcome sense of support. And may all beings be happy and free from suffering and at peace. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. See you soon.